Howdy everyone! Today we're digging into the western area of Cedar Park, the Creeks. These neighborhoods are like hidden treasures where luxury meets the calm vibe of nature, and guess what? They're just 15 to 30 minutes away from the buzzing Domain area and downtown Austin. As a data-driven real estate agent, I'm going to rank them based on my three main criteria: how convenient they are, what's around them, and the scoop of the real estate scene. Stick around to see which one of these spots nail the perfect combo of fancy living, natural beauty, and easy access, and how they stack up against their competition. Alright, so starting with the convenience, let's talk about the shopping and restaurants. And let's just face it, we're in the suburbs, so it's not going to be great, but it's not that bad either. We have an abundance of restaurants, and if we need to, we can drive 30 or 15 minutes to get to wherever we want to be. I would say that my favorite would be Soto if I'm looking for Japanese cuisine, Ramen Tetsuya if I'm looking for ramen, Interstellar Barbecue if I feel more Texan, and as you can see, there are a bunch of other places too. We do have an H-E-B Supercenter close by. We are maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes away from Costco, so all in all, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 6. Moving on to transportation, and it's fine, but it's not great because we are located a bit more west, so we're farther out from the 183 and the 620. We can get there relatively quickly, but still, there is some 5 to 10 minutes just to connect to the main road. All in all, because we are farther away from the main transportation roads, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 6. With regards to hub proximity, we are about 15 minutes away from the Domain, about 30 minutes away from downtown. So even though we're a bit more westbound, we do have okay connectivity, similar to Brushy Creek. So all in all, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 6. Moving on to surroundings, and let's start by speaking about the schools. The public education system in the Creeks is excellent, and it's one of the main gravitation points for families who are considering to move into the area. Both Cypress and Deer Creek Elementary are ranked 7 to 8 in grade schools, and then Cedar Park Middle School and Cedar Park High School considered to be top-notch schools. I have many clients in these areas, and they are reporting just great feedback about their experience. But remember, it's subjective in nature, so always check with people that are close to you. If you need connections, reach out to me and I'll be happy to make the introductions. You do have some private schools in the area that you can frequent if you want, but all in all, typically I see that people are going to the public school system, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. Moving on to surroundings, let's start with the parks and greenery. Right between Twin Creeks and Bella Vista is the Twin Creek Historic Park. It is a 2.2-mile easy trail, 47 minutes out and back. It's popular for hiking, running, and leisurely walks. The trail is mostly paved and shaded. It's running alongside a clean water creek with small waterfalls, picnic tables and benches, and the 46-acre park also boasts attractions like the historic John M. King log house. It's built on 1859, and a cave and green spaces along the creek side. Another local favorite is the Elizabeth Milbourne Park. This 42-acre park covers many outdoor activities. Think of it as a playground for all ages. It has a BMX track, a rock climbing wall, a basketball, soccer, wiffle ball, and even a volleyball court. And of course, it has a pool for the Texas heat. Within the vicinity, there are additional urbanic parks like the Sun Chase, Twin Creeks, and Ranch Cypress Park. The area is relatively green and it has an abundance of mature trees. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. How about community and crime? Well, the residents of Twin Creek can enjoy their country club, signature golf course, the tennis court and training, private clubhouse, dining facilities, community walking trails, recreation center, and a water park and junior Olympic-sized pool. The other neighborhoods like Deer Creek or Cypress offer more traditional HOA amenities like parks and public pools. The crime situation in these areas is virtually non-existent. There is no actual crime. If you look at any crime grade map, you're going to see deep green, so it's very safe in these areas, and all in all, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. If you found value in this content, please consider leaving me a like and subscribe to the channel. Moving on to the real estate criteria, my favorite. And these areas in West Cedar Park, compared to the rest of Cedar Park, are more premium in nature, and therefore they are more expensive in comparison. The price to get into the western neighborhoods is typically 200 to even 400 grand more compared to other areas in Cedar Park. Prices will vary between 600 up to like 1.5 million and more. On the one hand, you're going to get a larger home in a relatively large parcel of land, but on the other hand, it's not really cheap. When we look at the prices over time, we're seeing that in Q3 and Q4 of 2023, the prices were relatively stagnant, around the $250 per square feet in average. But when we're going to look into these nicer areas, the $1 million plus homes, we're going to see a more expensive price per square foot index. Remember that even if we buy a home for us to live in, we still want to buy it below the market value. If you want to deep dive into these areas, reach out to me. We can do it together. I can show you all the data, all the trends, and understand how we can beat the benchmark when we are buying a property for ourselves to live in. The creeks are mostly outside of the city limit, so the property taxes are going to be a bit cheaper. But again, when I'm looking at a suburb and I'm comparing it to suburban area, I can't call it really affordable, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 6. Moving on to scarcity, and the land is relatively scarce because you don't have a lot of land reserves. There is nowhere really to build because you are surrounded by the creeks, so this area is pretty much landlocked. Additionally, I should say that if you want these type of properties, the more luxurious one, you're not going to have a lot of options, so it's relatively scarce. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. How about density? Well, this is relatively a spacious neighborhood. They didn't really build the houses on top of one another. We're seeing lots that are more than 0.2 acres, sometimes even up to 0.4 acres. And because the lay of the land and the way the creeks run through the neighborhoods and the golf courses and whatnot, you have a bit more space between houses. So all in all, the density is relatively okay, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. Last but not least, character. So the character in this neighborhood, I was kind of struggling with this one because on the one hand, you have a newer neighborhood, and newer neighborhoods typically are, well, they have a tiny bit less of a character, but then again, you have the golf courses, you have the views, you have a bunch of nice things going for these neighborhoods. So all in all, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 6. So the overall score for West Cedar Park, the Creeks, is 41 out of 60. The main thing that drives it down is the convenience. It's not as convenient when we compare it to other neighborhoods of the same type. Let's take a look at how it stacks against the competition. Comparing to Avery and Brushy Creek, it is not as convenient, but when we look at the surroundings, it has a great score. And then with regard to real estate, all of these are relatively similar. So we see that the creeks are in the middle if you are prioritizing convenience, but if you're not as prioritized on convenience, maybe it's the better option for you. When I change the view into suburbs and I compare it to other suburbs that I've seen in Austin area, it is relatively ranked high. When I'm putting my realtor's hat on, the Creeks will probably best fit those who search for a quiet, peaceful suburb with easy access to the city and a budget range of $600 to $1.2 million. Interested in moving to Austin or investing in Austin? Shoot me a message and don't miss out all the other ranking videos that we've done in the past. If you found value in this video and you want to help me create more of these, please let me know in the comment section which neighborhoods I should rank next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.